Welcome to another edition of the show. Good afternoon, and thanks for making your afternoon with us. I'm Samson Oloide, and it promises to be an exciting time once again. And we'll delve into a thick of things, starting from the business angle, and then we'll just start from the motorsports itself, as the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority has committed $19.5 million over the next 3 years towards Formula One's Las Vegas Grand Prix. The LVCVA has partnered with Liberty Dice Corporation for the Las Vegas Grand Prix, which will run its inaugural race in November 2023 on a temporary 3.8-mile course on the iconic Las Vegas Strip. Payments will be made using the board's general fund, and the LVCVA's unanimous vote to spend $6.5 million per year to sponsor the Las Vegas Grand Prix follows Liberty Media, which is Formula One's parent company's agreement to purchase 39 acres east of the Strip for $240 million. The area will be used as the pit and paddock complex for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. The highly anticipated Las Vegas Grand Prix will mark the third race in the United States on the Formula One calendar. Now, still talking sports business in the world of basketball, Brooklyn Nets guard Kyrie has one of the most popular sneakers in all of basketball, but Nike is reportedly unwilling to move forward with the controversial seven-time All-Star. Nike is reportedly skeptical about Iver's future in NBA, a factor in reaching a deal when his contract, reportedly worth $11 million per year, expires after the 2022-2023 season. Ivan played in only 29 games this past season because he was unvaccinated, and New York City's vaccination mandates didn't allow him to play home games. He forfeited roughly $16 million of his contract from missed games. Now let's delve into the world of gaming, still talking sports business news. TakeTwo Interactive exceeded its own expectations in the company's latest earnings report, behind impressive sales of NBA 2K22. The company, which owns major video game publishers including Rockstar Games and 2K, generated $930 million in revenue in fiscal fourth quarter, surpassing its forecast of revenue ranging between $835 million and $885 million. The stronger-than-expected quarter is a jump from the $839.4 million in revenue Take-Two reported in fiscal year fourth quarter 2021. The Grand Theft Auto, NBA 2K, and Red Dead Redemption franchises in particular drove the results. Digitally delivered revenue reached $833 million in fiscal fourth quarter, up 9% year-over-year, while the largest contributor was NBA 2K22 with over 10 million copies sold since September 9th, 2021. The company also has a unique opportunity to tap into the world's most popular sport after FIFA decided not to renew its deal with Electronic Arts last week. However, there are no current plans to discuss a deal between Take-Two and FIFA, according to the CEO Strauss Zelnick. And finally, when it comes to sports business news at this time, Mercedes-Benz won't be racing in Formula E next season, but its team will be, as McLaren is acquiring Mercedes squad and will join the series for its ninth season. The transaction replaces one major racing name with another after Mercedes stung the all-electric racing series last August with its announcement that it will not compete in the series after this year. McLaren also competes in Formula One, IndyCar, and Extreme E. The ninth season will be the first for Formula E's Gen 3 vehicle, which was unveiled last month. The team will continue to be led by Ian James, who is transitioning to McLaren after around 20 years at Mercedes. And that's about the sports business news making the rounds at this time. Now let's move away from there and delve into the world of football. We had action yesterday in the Premier League, and it was Arsenal against Newcastle United at St. James's Park. And what a match it is, or it was rather, for Arsenal. One I'm sure they will not want to remember as quickly as possible. It must be said, over the course of 90 minutes, they were second best, they were outclassed, they were outthought, they were outmuzzled on virtually every play of that match itself, and it's a well-deserved 2-0 win for Newcastle United. Ben White turning home the goal, turning home the ball to concede the first goal early in the second half before Bruno Guimaraes, who has been a shining star for Newcastle since his acquisition in January, rounded up scoring late in the match day, the 5th minute precisely, to condemn Arsenal to a defeat. More importantly, to condemn them outside of a place when it comes to a top 4 race. It's now in the hands of Tottenham Hotspur, and all they need is just a draw against Norwich City, who is already relegated, to be able to qualify for the UEFA Champions League next season. It must be said, Arsenal had it in their hands, but they squandered it. Going into the match, they were 2 points clear, and all they needed to do was, just get the win. They couldn't make that happen. And for Newcastle United, you have to give it to them. Eddie Howe has done a fantastic job in rejuvenating the side since they took over in November, when they were languishing in 19th spot and seemed destined to be relegated from the Premier League. But here they are, having 46 points, and what a remarkable turnaround it has been from Eddie Howe and his men. For Arsenal, yes, the blame will go around. You lay some of them on the table of Mikel Arteta, the coach, but the players also need to take the larger portion of the stick when it comes to their performance over 90 minutes last night. It was disgraceful from an Arsenal point of view, it must be said. The attitude, the body language, they were second to lose balls, second to challenges. It was just one of those miserable days in office. Unfortunately, it's coming at a very critical time for Arsenal, and right now they're outside here for Champions League places, as I said earlier. For Newcastle United, no European football, but Premier League survival has long been guaranteed. So this is just another victory in the right step for them, talking about getting back to being Newcastle United of probably the Alan Shearer days, when it was the player, not the coach, it must be said. So there you have it. But it's not just Arsenal. You also have another Premier League action today, and it's Liverpool who will be playing against Southampton. For Liverpool, they're 4 points behind Manchester City in the race for the Premier League title, with 2 games left for Liverpool, while 1 for Manchester City. Liverpool need to win today to narrow the gap to just a point, and be hoping that former Liverpool legend Steven Gerrard, who is now the coach of Aston Villa, is able to do them the honours of gifting them the Premier League title against City on the last day. But Liverpool against Southampton, it will be difficult, it must be said, because this is at the St. Mary's Stadium, and Southampton will be counting on their captain, James Ward-Prowse, who has been a dominant force for them over the last few years. For Liverpool, they'll be going this with injuries of their own. It must be said, the FA Cup triumph over Chelsea came at a cost, as Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, as well as Andy Robertson all hobbled off due to various injuries. So Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk has been confirmed won't be playing tonight. I also have Andy Robertson, who is doubtful for this. Again, the injuries are coming at a crucial time for Liverpool, though it may be the twilight of the Premier League campaign or the season as a whole. For Liverpool, they still have crucial games like the UEFA Champions League final against Real Madrid, which is just 11 days from now, as well as the last game of the Premier League, aside to that of tonight. So they will be looking to rest players. Let's see how the lineup looks like. Over the course of things, you would expect that Liverpool should be able to grind out the result. The squad in depth, should count. The likes of Tikano Minamino, as well as Divock Origi, who haven't been getting playing times as much as they would desire, should be able to get a look in this. And defensively, you have the Greek Scousser, who is there to deputize for Andy Robertson, while the likes of Ibrahim Konate as well as Joel Matip should be able to get the job done in the absence of Virgil van Dijk. So it's Liverpool who will be hoping to close the gap to a point of City. Let's see how that pans out today. But for Liverpool, the quadruple beat lives on, or the quadruple dream, if you want to call it that. 2 down, 2 more to go. Carabao Cup as well as the FA Cup already in the bag. UEFA Champions League, well, they're into the finals and will be taking on Real Madrid. Well, for the Premier League title, they are 4 points behind, but a win tonight will get them within a point of Manchester City. Let's move away from there now and talk about Peseiro. Yes, Jose Peseiro, that's the new Super Eagles coach. And it must be said, a lot have been said. He was appointed, prior to the African Cup of Nations, and was meant to be at the African Cup of Nations to, understudy, Austin Eguavoen at the African Cup of Nations before taking over on a full-time basis. But the Ministry of Youth and Sports waded in, and that appointment was shelved at the time, while Austin Eguavoen also took charge of the World Cup qualifier. So we're looking at a projection at his appointment and how it will be able to fare for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. It must be said that it would not be doing the job alone. You have Finidi George, ex-international, the current coach of Enyimba, in the mix, who is the first assistant coach. You also have Salisu Yusuf, who has been, involved with the team for years, being the second assistant coach, while Enyimba's league title winning coach in 2019, who is currently coaching Katsina United, Usman Abdullah, will be the third coach. And you can rest assured that in terms of the technical knowledge, especially of the domestic league, the three legends of Nigerian football should be able to provide Osipesero with the needed, information he needs. This is a coach who has coached, across Europe. Porto, has coached Venezuela, or as well, coached even in Africa. Talking about Al Ali, at various instances, his resume definitely is wide, although that those who would also question if he has what it takes to, take the Super Eagles to the next level, I'm sure we'll see over the course of 2 games. The appointment is with immediate effect, and it means that it will be taking charge of the Super Eagles friendly matches against Mexico on the 28th of May, as well as on the 2nd of June against Ecuador. So I'm sure in terms of playing style, and the approach to the game, the fans will be able to see what Osipesero will bring to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We would have to move away from there now and talk about Chelsea Football Club. Yes, Chelsea Football Club, talking about the ownership or the takeover. The latest about that is that there are a bit of concerns that the deal with the Todd Bodley-led consortium will fall apart at the last minute. Remember, Chelsea is operating on a special license, and that's set to expire on the 31st of May, which is exactly 2 weeks from now, just 14 days more. And the doubts now is that government ministers are scared that the deal may fall apart, and that's because they do not have legal guarantees of how the proceeds from the club sale will go, in terms of where it will go. Remember, the UK government has sanctioned current owner Roman Abramovich and are insisting that he doesn't get a penny from the deal, reportedly worth £4.25 billion. So £2.5 billion approximately for the sale of the club, while others will go to other charitable causes, including the academies and what have you. But the government still needs guarantees. While Roman Abramovich has given the verbal guarantee, the reports have it that the legal guarantees that they were expecting to have in terms of documents signed, he refused to put pen to paper in that regard. So there's still question marks regards the sale, although Todd Boehly was in attendance during Chelsea's last league match against Wolverhampton Wanderers, where they drew 2-2 at Stamford Bridge. It's yet to be seen if the deal will go through, but I think it should. If it fails to go through and the operational license expires, then that's another controversy, another uncertainty for Chelsea Football Club. The players are also involved in this. Several of them have their contracts expiring. Anthony Rudiger set to leave the club and sign for Real Madrid. You have club captain Cesar Azpilicueta as well, whose contract, I beg your pardon, also runs out and is yet to get an extension. Chelsea can't sign players. They can't even sign current players in terms of extending their contract. So lots of uncertainties here and there, but I'm sure in the coming days and we'll definitely get clarity to that effect.